Hello, my name is Dominica and I'm going to do my presentation on George Metsky, known as the Mad Bomber. In November of 1940, the first bomb was found outside of the headquarters of Consolidated Edison, with a note attached that said, "Con Ed, Cooks, this is for you." Investigators were curious of why there would be a note on the bomb. If it detonated, it would be destroyed. They came to the conclusion that it was made as a threat. In September 1941, an unexploded bomb was found a few blocks away from a main office of Consolidated Edison. There was no note attached. A few months after that bomb was found, a letter was sent to the police department stating, "I will not make any more bomb units for the duration of the war. It was my patriotic feelings that made me decide this. But after, Con Edison will pay for their dastardly deeds." Signed, F.P. From 1946 until 1950, there were no more bombs or no word from F.P. March of 1950, another unexploded bomb was found at the New York Grand Central Station. In April 1950, the first exploded bomb was found in a telephone booth at the Grand Central Station. Christmas of that year, F.P. gave a letter to the newspaper stating that some of you have heard and seen some of the bombs I was leaving, and Con Edison will be sorry. They will pay for their dastardly deeds. Over the next 2 years, he had 4 increasingly powerful bombs planted, and he was on a bombing spree which gave him the name the Mad Bomber. In 1955, the bombs became bi-monthly. In December 1956, the city put out a reward of $25,000, leading to the capture of F.P. They also enlisted Dr. Brussel, who was a former chief psychiatrist in the Army. Dr. Brussel's profile of F.P. was that he was a stocky man between 40 and 50, living in Connecticut. He was unmarried and paranoid. Brussel's official profile was printed in the newspapers and encouraged the bomber to turn himself in. Not long after, Brussel received a phone call from F.P. saying that if he doesn't abandon the case, he will be sorry. He also mentioned that he had medical bills from an incident in September 1931. Investigators found that George Metsky worked for a company that merged into Con Edison. He was injured on the job and he was potentially fired. After, he wrote plenty of letters to Con Edison saying that they had dastardly deeds. George Metsky learned his bomb-making skills while in the Marine Corps. In the basement of his home was an amateur bomb-making lab. He was charged with 47 separate crimes and also was diagnosed as a paranoid schizophrenia. In 1957, George Metsky was adjudicated and never competent to stand trial, and he went to the state hospital, where he died at age 90. The case of the Mad Bomber has shown us that criminal profiling is not a science. It is based on educated guesses, and it creates a tunnel vision for investigators to base the profile on crimes of consistency, not crimes of random. Brussel identified F.P. as being a man because historically most bombers were male. Brussel assumed that F.P. was paranoid because of the feelings that were expressed in his many letters. Brussel also had the age of 40s to 50s because paranoia peaked in early 30s. The marital status of F.P. as being a single male because most paranoids were socially isolated and mostly loners. The description of being stocky was made because 85% of paranoid people were stocky. The determination of F.P. living in Connecticut was because of the letters were postmarked in between New York City and Connecticut. As we seen in Brussel's profile of F.P., each identification of the profile was made upon another identification. This was all an educated guess. If F.P. never reached out for Brussel, stating the incident of 1931 in September, they could never truly identify that George Metsky was the man behind the bombs. Thank you for watching.